my name is Skye Thomas. I'm a yoga teacher, exercise physiologist and practice manager at Integrated Sports and Spinal Clinic. This week is Yoga Week in Australia and also International Yoga Day on Saturday. So I thought I'd share a short practice with you that you can follow along with me. So this practice is mainly focusing on our hips and our hamstrings as our kind of target muscle group that we'll look at during this class. So if you'd like to start, we'll come straight over onto our hands and knees. Placing your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and maybe just take a little sway side to side, feeling that your weight is moving left and right through the knees and the hips, but also through the hands as well. And then we'll find our weight kind of evenly in between the knees and the hands. And then as we inhale, we're going to lift the chest and lift the tailbone. And exhale, tuck the chin round through the upper back. Inhale, heart lifts, tailbone lifts. Exhale, tuck the chin round through the back. And really press into your hands and your feet into the mat. One last time, inhale, chest lifts, tailbone lifts, and exhale, rounding through your back. From here, we're going to tuck our toes under, lift our knees and press back into downward facing dog. So you might want to bend your right knee and let your left heel come down towards the mat, and then changing sides, bending the left knee, the right heel comes down, just lengthening out the backs of the legs. Changing sides again, coming into the calf muscles, a little into the hamstring, changing sides. And then we'll lift onto both balls of the feet and then lower the heels towards the ground. They don't have to touch, but you just feel that lengthening through the back of the legs. Inhale, lift up onto the balls of the feet again, and exhale, lower the heels towards the ground. From here, have your knees soft, and we're going to walk our hands all the way back to our feet at the back of the mat. Our feet should be hip distance apart, or you can fit 2 fists in between your feet. And that's kind of our hip distance apart. From here, bend your knees nice and generously so your chest can rest along your thighs, and then hold onto opposite elbows. So just let the head hang here, maybe shaking a little yes and no with the head, just releasing the muscles of the neck, and taking a nice slow breath in and a slow breath out. If you want to, you can start lengthening the legs a little bit, but try and keep that chest-thigh connection, supporting that lower back. We'll take one more breath here and a slow breath out. You can release your hands, and then one vertebrae at a time, we're going to roll up to standing, coming all the way up, and then just letting your shoulders roll down your back. From here, inhale, let your arms reach up. Exhale, soften the knees, folding forward. Inhale, we're going to slide our hands up our shins and find a nice long spine. The knees are still soft. And then exhale, fold on into your legs. Keep the knees bent. Then inhale to walk our hands all the way out. We're going to come into a plank position. So our legs are extended here, shoulders underneath the wrists. Shoulders on top of the wrist, I should say, sorry. And then you can stay on your toes, or you can lower down to your knees. And as you exhale, we're going to lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale to roll the shoulders back and just lifting up a little way, coming into baby cobra. And then exhale, we're going to push back into child's pose. So taking a nice deep breath into the lower back, and a long breath out. From here, as we inhale, we're going to tuck our toes under Lift our tail and press back into downward facing dog. Once again, taking a nice deep breath in and long breath out. So keep the knees soft so that lower back can be long. And you want to press down in the mound of your index finger, really activating the inner part of your arm. So you're not putting all the pressure into your wrist, but really allowing all of your hand and your fingertips to be gripping to the mat as well. On our next breath in here, we're going to inhale to take the right leg up into the air. And then as we exhale, we're going to step that foot in between our hands. If you can't make it all the way to your hand, you can use your hand behind your ankle to move it forward. Then lower your back knee down, release the back toes, and inhale to lift up to our low lunge. Then as you exhale, open the arms wide and find a clasp behind your back. We're going to roll the shoulders down, open the chest, and allow ourselves to sink forward into the hips. Taking a breath in here and a breath out. Inhale to reach the arms up again. And exhale to frame your front foot with your hands. Tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee and stepping back into downward facing dog. Let your gaze be steady in between your ankles as you breathe in. And then soften through your jaw as you breathe out. Use your inhale to float the left leg high this time. And exhale to step in between your hands, using that little trick if you need to. Lowering the back knee down. Inhale to lift up to our low lunge. Exhale, open the hands wide. This time taking your opposite pinky on the outside. So it might feel a little strange in your grasp. Inhale to grow tall through the crown of the head. And exhale, slide the shoulders down the back. Inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale to frame your front foot. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the back knee, and exhale, step back, downward facing dog. As you breathe in, come forward to plank. And on your knees or your toes, exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale to lift the chest to cobra or a little bit higher to up dog. And exhale, come back into child's pose. Breathing into that lower back, the pelvis. Exhale, softening into your legs. Inhale to tuck the toes, lift the tail, and exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, floats the right leg high. Exhale, step in between the hands. This time we're going to leave that back knee lifted. Inhale to lift up to high lunge. And exhale, open the arms wide, taking that clasp behind your back. Inhale, heart lifts. And exhale, sink into the legs. Inhale to reach the arms tall. And exhale, frame the front foot. Inhale, we're going to lift our chest up and lower the hips. And then exhale, sliding back through that front knee. So it doesn't have to come all the way straight, but just finding that lengthening action. You'll feel the stretch in the back of your leg, your hamstring. Inhale to come forward. Chest lifts, hips lower. Exhale, sliding back. One more of those. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Inhale to come forward again. Let your hands find the mat. And exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Taking a breath in here, steady gaze through your ankles. Slow breath out. Inhale, floats the left leg high. Exhale, stepping in between the hands. Inhale to lift up to high lunge. And exhale, open the arms wide. Finding that opposite pinky, the one that feels a bit weird on the outside. Inhale, lift through the crown of the head. And exhale, sliding the shoulders down the back. Inhale to reach the arms tall. Exhale, framing your front foot. You can just come onto the fingertips here. As you inhale, lift the heart, lower the hips. Exhale, lengthening through that front leg. Inhale, come forward, heart lifts, tail lowers. Exhale, sliding back. One more time. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, slide back. Inhale to come forward, framing your front foot. Hands come down to the mat. And then exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Taking a steady breath in. A calm breath out. Inhale to come forward to plank. And on your knees or your toes, exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lifting up to cobra or up dog. And exhale, coming back to child's pose. This time, take your knees as wide as your mat. So our big toes are together, knees out wide, sinking down into your child's pose. Taking a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lifting up to hands and knees. Bring your knees back towards each other so you can tuck your toes and come back into downward facing dog. Walking our hands all the way back to our feet here again. Just softening the knees, holding onto opposite elbows like we did at the start. And just feel into the back of the hamstrings, feeling if they feel any different to what they did when you first started. Taking a nice breath in here. And a slow breath out. As you inhale, release your elbows and come all the way up, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. And then rolling your shoulders down when you come to the top. We're just going to come into a little balance. So having your feet spread nice and wide on the floor. So our toes spread out wide, our weight even on the feet. And we're going to draw our left knee in towards our chest. Draw the toes back towards your knee. And then we're going to take that foot on top of our right knee. And almost like we're sitting down on our chair, on a chair with our right leg. Good stuff. So from here you can either keep your hands on your hips, you can bring hands together at your heart, or you can start sinking down a little bit deeper into this posture. So there's three options there. If you find yourself wobbling a little bit, you can use a spot that's not moving on the ground to help steady your gaze and steady your balance. Take one more breath in here. And slow breath out. Use your inhale to lift you back to standing knee to chest. And exhale, placing that foot back down. And have a little shake out through the ankles, through the feet. And then we'll change sides. So coming onto the left side, spreading those toes apart. Inhale to lift the right knee up towards the chest. Drawing the toes back towards your knee. Then crossing it over your left knee. And sitting down like you're sitting on a little stool behind you. So the hand options, again, you can have them on your hips. You can bring them to your heart space, or you can start to kind of tip forward a little bit more in that balance. Just make sure you keep pulling those toes back to protect the knee. Taking a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Use your inhale to lift you back up, knee to chest. And exhale, let that foot come back down. Just having a little shake out here. Coming back to the end of your mat if you change position like me. So inhale to let the arms come up. Exhale, soften the knees, fold forward. Inhale, sliding your hands up your shins, long spine. Exhale, fold on into the legs. Then inhale to walk the hands out to downward dog. Exhale, lift the sitting bones, soften the knees, find length in your spine. Taking a nice deep breath in. And a long breath out. Inhale to gently let the knees come down to the mat. And then just taking your hips to one side, come down onto our bottom and let the legs come out in front of you. So we're going to draw our right foot in towards our left thigh. Just making sure your weight is even on your sitting bones and your chest is facing towards that long leg. Inhale to lift your arms up and then exhale, folding forward. So wherever our hands land is fine as we fold forward. We want to keep that length through the lumbar spine. We don't want to be kind of bending forward and backwards just to get closer to your legs. It's much better to have that length of your chin going along your shin, length through the spine. So each time you breathe in, think length through the crown of your head. And as you breathe out, feeling that softness into the muscle. Breath in. Breath out. One more, inhaling. And exhaling. Use your inhale to lift you back up. We can cross that right foot over our left leg. If that's a bit much, you can just keep it on the inside of your left knee, or you can cross it over the other side. But just pressing down strongly with your big toe on that right foot as you draw your legs back, so your toes back with your left foot. From here, sitting tall in our sitting bones, we're going to inhale, lift that left arm up, and then exhale, hug into our right knee, take our right hand behind, and look over our back shoulder if that feels okay. So we still want to be active in our legs here, pressing that right toe down, big toe, active left leg that's long. And then as you breathe in, we go long through the crown of the head again, long spine. And as we breathe out, we soften and twist. One more breath in, go long through your spine. out, soften and twist. Inhale to bring the head back to center, and then exhale, just take a little twist to the other side, not too strong. Coming back to the middle, we're going to lengthen our right leg out this time. Our left foot comes to our inner thigh of our right leg. Having our sitting bones even here, drawing the toes back of that right leg. Inhale to reach the arms long, long spine, and then exhale, folding forward. So keeping that integrity through the spine, keeping the toes drawing back. Breathing in to find length in your spine, and then softening as you breathe out. Inhale, exhale, soften. Once more, breath in, and breath out. Use your in-breath to lift you back up to center. Then crossing that left foot over the right this time, or on the inside, that's always the option. Pressing down with the big toe. Inhale to sit tall, reach the right arm up. And then exhale, hug into the knee, looking over your left shoulder. Inhaling, finding more length in your spine. Exhale, looking over the back shoulder. Taking a breath in. Exhale, soften and twist. One more breath. Inhaling, sit tall. Exhale, soften. Inhale to bring our head back to center, and then exhale, releasing the body, just a little counter twist to the other side. Beautiful, just lengthening both legs out now, and we're slowly going to roll ourselves onto our back. So if you've got a little lower back problems, you can just use your hands to help lower down, or have your hands out and curl all the way down. I only wanted this to be a short practice, so we might stop it there. So we're going to do a little bit of breath before we finish with some Shavasana. So just placing one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, and firstly just allow yourself to feel the breath moving in your body. And I want you to see if you can feel your breath expanding your belly first, and then maybe a bit of movement at the chest. And then as you breathe out, softening through the belly and softening through the chest. So that movement of the belly helps to signal what's happening with our diaphragm, our major breathing muscle. And when we're able to activate or use our diaphragm for our breath, it means that we're able to draw the air or the oxygen down into the lower lobes of our lungs. So we get so much more use of our lungs when we breathe, if we're doing it effectively using that diaphragm muscle. So you may notice that simply by observing your breath, it naturally starts to lengthen and deepen. can keep your hands here if they're comfortable, or you can now just lower them down beside you, the backs of the palms to the ground, allowing your upper arms to roll open, the chest can be open. Maybe just make sure that your hips feel even, your shoulder blades are sliding down your back. You may want to tuck your chin slightly to lengthen the back of your neck. And coming into our final resting pose for Shavasana. So if you find that your mind is already racing, going through what you need to do next, or what else is happening, just draw it back to your breath. Maybe the movement happening at your belly, or the subtle cool air coming in through your nostrils, and the warm air moving out across your upper lip as you exhale. And allow that movement of the breath to be your anchor that helps draw your mind back when it starts running away. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you've got time. If you do need to keep moving with your day, just start to draw some movement back into your fingers and toes. Just gently reawakening your body. You may like to stretch your arms above your head and lengthen all the way out. Or draw your knees into your chest and give yourself a loving hug. Then when you're ready, just moving over onto one side. And pressing into one hand and returning to a seated position. We'll just take one more deep breath in together, let our arms rise up. And then as we exhale, drawing our hands down to our heart space. Thank you for joining me for this practice today. I hope that we can see you again soon on the mat. Namaste.